Tonight you dive quietly into the gentle sea of air that wraps the earth, an invisible ocean where every breath and breeze tells a story. As you settle in, this silent sea becomes a soft cradle, holding you as you float weightlessly through the layers of sky and mystery. Let your mind drift on the soft pulse of atmosphere, where science whispers in the wind, welcome. Let your body sink slowly into your bed, soft and safe. Breathe in and out with me, a long, easy sigh in, and a calm, full sigh out. Your mind begins to float, and the day's chatter begins to fade. Somewhere beyond your window, the world keeps turning, wrapped in the gentle arms of an invisible, ever-moving ocean. It's the air you breathe, the ever-present atmosphere holding you close, a delicate sea of gases waving softly above the earth's skin. Imagine for a moment that you are not lying still, you are drifting, weightless, wrapped in this vast ocean of air. It's unlike any ocean you've swum in. You don't need a snorkel here. You're carried not by water but by a fluid lighter than feathers, swirling unseen. This ocean is the stage where every weather story unfolds, the story of clouds, wind, rain, and sunlight's warm embrace. This invisible ocean is called the atmosphere. If the earth were a juicy apple, the skin just a thin shell, you'd find the atmosphere hugging the fruit in a fragile, whisper-thin layer. It's surprisingly shallow, only stretching about 7 miles above our heads, where everything we see and feel as weather lives and breathes. That's about the same as the distance between your home and a favorite park or your school to the grocery store. But full of secrets we rarely imagine. Above that thin layer, the sky rises higher into a stage set, layered with personality. The stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere, each like a chapter in a book, unique yet connected. But tonight, let's stay cozy in the troposphere, our familiar, everyday home. It's where clouds dance and rain whispers to the soil, where your breath mingles with the breeze that rustles the leaves outside. This air around you isn't empty or silent. It's a living, moving mixture, mostly nitrogen that makes up about 78%, then oxygen about 21%, with the remaining small amounts made up of argon, carbon dioxide, and water vapor, an ever-changing cocktail that makes life possible. These invisible gases swirl and flow, sometimes gently, sometimes driven by unseen forces, carrying stories of heat and cold, pressure and moisture. Air, you see, behaves like a liquid, flowing and rolling over hills, trails, and cities. It carries whispers and roars, the promise of a gentle breeze or the warning of a coming storm. Its movements come from something simple yet profound. Warm air rises, cold air sinks. When sunlight warms the earth unevenly, warmer at the equator and cooler near the poles, the air starts a dance of rising and falling that never ends. Feel the sun's warmth on your skin, in your mind. Where the earth's surface catches the sun's radiant touch, land, ocean, trees, the air above warms and starts to lift gently upward, like a hot air balloon beginning its flight. As it rises, it cools and sometimes releases the moisture it carries in tiny droplets, birthing clouds that drift like soft pillows in the sky. The cooler air rushes in underneath to fill the space left behind. This moving, breathing of air is the heart of weather. Pressure is another invisible force pressing on you, a quiet, gentle weight. Every inch of your body feels the soft press of about 14 pounds per square inch from the weight of the column of air above you. Imagine a small cat sitting quietly on your hand. That's roughly the sensation of atmospheric pressure. But this pressure isn't the same everywhere. When air sinks down, pressure rises and calms the mood of the sky. When air rises, pressure falls and invites storms to play. This pressure difference makes wind, nature's way of tidying up the invisible ocean. The wind is air moving from places of higher pressure to lower pressure, seeking balance, driven endlessly by the spinning earth beneath. Speaking of which, your earth is a fast spinner, turning at over 1,000 miles per hour right under the equator. This spin gently swirls the wind, causing it to curve to the right in the northern half and to the left in the southern. This subtle twist in wind paths is called the Coriolis effect, a secret that shapes weather into beautiful, curved patterns rather than straight lines. Think of the atmosphere as a giant, unseen ballet choreographed by warmth, pressure, and motion, all spinning softly on a stage that moves in space. It's an elegant system, never standing still, always flowing, sometimes calm as a whispered lullaby, sometimes fierce like a shout, No conductor calls the dancers. Physics and gravity hold the rhythm, balancing energy gently like a lullaby's hum. Your mind may wander to the shapes above the ever-shifting clouds, soft mists, and towering thunderheads. Each is a storyteller of this restless sky, carrying tales of water, vapor, and temperature, of pressure and gentle forces both fierce and tender. The next time you feel a breeze slip through your hair or see a cloud drift lazily by, remember the invisible ocean is alive and moving, holding you gently in its arms. So now, as your eyes grow heavy and your breathing slows, picture yourself floating in this invisible ocean, peaceful traveler among the clouds, your body relaxed, your mind quiet. The atmosphere hums around you, an ancient, invisible sea, forever in motion and always cradling life with gentle solemnity as you slowly drift towards sleep. Let a question float softly through your mind. What stories might the air around you hold tonight as it dances and bends, lifting winds and clouds across the world? Sleep now, cradled in the quiet vastness of the atmosphere, the soft, swirling ocean all around you, carrying whispers of the sky. Now you listen closely as the invisible currents of wind and water weave their quiet stories through the air. Feel how the gentle push of air shapes your world, soft as a lullaby yet powerful enough to move mountains and clouds. Let the rhythm of rising and falling breezes carry you deeper into a calm, flowing journey where science and serenity meet. Close your eyes once more and feel the stillness settle in your room. But outside, around you, unseen whispers glide softly, wind and water dancing in the air's vast ballroom. Together, they paint the atmosphere's moods with light touch and deep breath. Tonight's journey will take you right into their gentle story. Imagine the air as a sea again. But unlike the ocean's blue waves, this sea flows with invisible currents of wind, always moving, folding softly over forests and fields, gliding down mountain slopes and swirling upward from sun-warmed ground. Wind is air on the move, caused by gentle differences you cannot see, in temperature and in pressure. Remember from before, warm air is lighter, so it rises. Cool air is heavier and sinks. This simple push and pull tiptoes through the atmosphere, setting air in motion and creating wind, the breath of the earth. And just like the water in a river, air does not flow in straight lines, because earth itself twirls beneath it. Those ribbons of wind curve, twist, and swirl in an endless flowing dance. Picture a bright morning where sunlight touches the earth. As land warms faster than the nearby sea, the air just above it grows lighter and begins to lift, creating a gentle vacancy near the surface. Cooler, denser air from over the water gently flows in to fill this space, creating a soft sea breeze that cools and refreshes as the day drifts toward evening. The process shifts. The land cools faster now, and cooler air from the land slips out to meet the warmer air over the sea. This breeze, flowing outwards, tucks you in like a soft blanket, a quiet rhythm marking the day's gentle ebb and flow. Wind can feel playful and soft, like a friend brushing your hair from your face, or steady and strong, bending trees and racing clouds across the sky. Though you cannot see it, wind sculpts the earth's surface over time, carrying seeds across fields and pollen from flower to flower, tracing the curves of dunes in deserts and draping snow in elegant drifts across untouched, white landscapes. Hold a leaf in your hand. Imagine the journey that leaf might take, lifted by wind currents miles away from its tree, carried over hills and rivers, before softly settling on new soil. Wind is an artist and a traveler, invisible yet endlessly present. But let's also turn to water, the other great storyteller in the sky. Water doesn't only flow in rivers and lakes. It is always traveling, flying as vapor in the air, shaping clouds and bringing rain, snow, fog, and mist. Air and water are partners in a slow, timeless ballet. Water begins its journey in droplets, smaller than a pinhead, rising from oceans, lakes, and rivers in sunlight's warm embrace, evaporating into vapor that floats unseen just above the surface. This water vapor is always in motion, never standing still, and it speaks through clouds made of countless tiny droplets or ice crystals, softly suspended high above. Those clouds you see drifting lazily past your window are made of millions, even billions, of these delicate droplets. Though they appear light and fluffy, they carry enormous weight and power. When those droplets gather and grow heavy enough, gravity gently calls them down to earth as rain, snow, or hail, nourishing rivers, forests, and everything that breathes. Each raindrop begins its fall with a slow, graceful glide, pushed and pulled by currents and winds. As it descends, it carries stories of distant seas and faraway storms. Snowflakes, each a unique masterpiece, spin and twirl on their journey down, shaped by the cold air and moisture, decorating the world in quiet white dot. Think about fog, a cloud that hugs the Earth's surface like a soft whisper. Fog gently blurs the edges of the world, turning familiar shapes into mysterious shadows. It forms when the air near the ground cools enough for water vapor to condense, folding water droplets into a floating veil around you. To stand in fog is to be wrapped in the sky's secret breath. All this water movement, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, is part of the water cycle, an ancient rhythm that never ceases. Water rises, gathers, falls, and returns, endlessly renewing life and linking land, air, and sea. Now, notice how wind and water meet and mingle. When warm, moist air rises, it cools and forms clouds, gathering water droplets like a gentle, nurturing hand. When winds blow steadily over an ocean's surface, they coax waves and ripples, stirring salt spray and adding moisture to the air. The interplay between wind and water shapes weather on every scale, from the soft sea breeze at your window to the powerful hurricanes that swirl across oceans. Hurricanes are vast storms born from warm ocean waters, where moist air rises in spirals, driven by heat and Earth's rotation, growing into colossal, spinning giants that command awe and respect. But tonight, let's focus on their gentler side. Quiet breath of the earth, the soft push of wind, the patient dance of water and clouds and mist. They shape your day and night with invisible hands, creating the weather you feel and see, and the peaceful rhythms that cradle sleep. As you breathe in slowly, imagine the wind cruising softly past your ears, weaving its cool fingers through the trees. Feel the invisible river of air flowing past your skin, moving gently over the land and sea. Imagine droplets of moisture rising with the warmth, gathering silently, preparing to become clouds. The atmosphere is alive with movement, choreography without sound. It's a flow of balance, warm and cool, wet and dry, rising and falling or playing together to create the world as you know it. And as you drift deeper into rest, you are part of this flow, breathing the same air, touched by the same whispers. Before you close your eyes fully, ask yourself, where will the wind carry your dreams tonight? What stories in the clouds will greet you at dawn? The soft dance of wind and water is always happening above, around, through your very breath. Now rest in the calm of this invisible movement, comforted by the constant flow of the air and water, silent companions guiding your journey into sleep. Tonight, you watch as clouds compose their endless symphony above, soft shapes painting stories in the sky. These drifting sculptures of vapor carry whispers of moisture, temperature, and air currents, performing an invisible song that moves earth and sky in timeless harmony. Let yourself float gently among their shadows, discovering a world where science reveals beauty in nature's quiet transformation. Rest your head gently on your pillow, and take a slow, deep breath in. Feel the air move through your body, light and cool as it passes your lips. Now, picture the vast sky overhead, a grand stage where clouds play their quiet, shifting melodies. Though seemingly soft and still, clouds are alive with science and wonder. A silent symphony unfolding just out of reach. Clouds start as tiny waltzes of water vapor, invisible and weightless, rising from the Earth's surface when warmth teases moisture free from lakes, soils, and forests. This vapor is like a shy musician tuning up, a delicate breath waiting to become a part of something greater. As it climbs higher, the air grows cooler, coaxing the vapor to gather on microscopic seeds of dust, salt, or pollen. These invisible stagehands are called condensation nuclei, and without them, clouds wouldn't form at all. Once joined together, the water droplets or ice crystals create the visible art we call clouds. Each one holds millions or billions of these tiny droplets, hanging suspended like a vast audience poised in mid-air. As you gaze at the sky, clouds drift in and out of shape, flowing across the great blue canvas with a quiet grace. There are many types of clouds, each with their own personality and story to tell. Let's explore a few together. First, the gentle stratus clouds are soft, uniform blankets stretched thin across the sky. These clouds hover low, close to the earth, often bringing a quiet gray calm with them. When you wake up to a morning wrapped in a light, Misty fog, that's stratus hugging the ground, a close cousin to the clouds drifting just above. Imagine them as the atmosphere's whisper, softening light and muffling sounds, like a warm shawl wrapped gently around the world. Next, meet the cumulus clouds. These are the puffy cotton ball shapes that float with casual ease on a summer afternoon. Their edges are crisp and white, glowing as sunlight illuminates their tops, while their bases often loom a gentle gray. Cumulus clouds are embers of energy, born from warm air rising swiftly. They bring a playful spirit to the sky, shaping themselves into castles, animals, or dreams as they drift by. Sometimes, the sky gathers more ambition, and the cumulus clouds become giants, towering cumulonimbus clouds, spectacular and powerful. These are the thunderstorm architects, building tall spires that stretch miles upwards, sometimes reaching the very edge of the troposphere. Inside their walls, water droplets and ice crystals collide in a stormy dance, generating lightning, thunder, rain, and hail. Though their presence can feel dramatic, even awe-inspiring, they are simply nature's way of balancing heat and moisture. The stormy punctuation in the day's soft story. Then there are wispy cirrus clouds, light as feathers, trailing high in the cold sky. These clouds are made almost entirely of ice crystals, glimmering thinly in the sunlight. They move with patience and elegance, often heralding a change in the weather, a soft prelude to gatherings of rain or storms ahead. Clouds don't just grace the sky with their beauty, they perform important roles for the Earth. They regulate temperature by reflecting sunlight back into space, keeping the planet cool. They also trap heat like a cozy blanket at night, slowing how quickly the Earth loses warmth. It's a delicate balance, like a gentle duet between light and shadow, warmth and cooling. Each cloud's journey is a dance of moisture and motion. Sometimes water droplets grow heavy enough to fall as rain, while smaller droplets linger, suspended by air currents. You may notice clouds growing, shrinking, or dissolving, each movement shaped by temperature and humidity, by winds weaving unseen patterns. Imagine for a moment that you are a droplet inside a cloud. You float weightlessly, surrounded by countless others, pushed slowly by gentle breezes. You gather moisture and grow, until one day, gravity's tender pull begins to draw you down. You slip free and start your descent, as rain falling softly onto leaves, soil, and streams, nourishing every living thing in your path. Sometimes that descent is filled with surprises: a chill in the air, a shift in the wind, and droplets freeze into snowflakes, each a unique crystal, softly blanketing the Earth. Or a sudden breeze lifts you again, swirling you into a gust or storm, riding invisible currents you could never see. Even the apparent stillness of a cloud hides complex movements. Inside, air flows up and down, warm rises, while cool sinks. This circulation shapes clouds, forms and shapes the weather they bring. The science beneath their beauty is a story of heat, pressure, moisture, and motion, quietly orchestrated by the laws of physics. Clouds also invite wonder through their colors and lights. At sunrise or sunset, they glow with reds and golds, painted by the sun's low angle. Sometimes, clouds sparkle with iridescent soft pastels, shimmering like a hidden rainbow. This happens when tiny drops scatter sunlight delicately, a magical effect whispered by droplets too small to fall. Look closely on rare evenings, and you might see noctilucent clouds, ghostly, glowing high above at the edge of space, catching sunlight long after the sun has set below the horizon. They remind us that the atmosphere extends far beyond what the eye usually sees. A mysterious glowing veil wrapped in twilight. As you imagine drifting among the clouds, consider this: though they appear light and airy, clouds carry enormous weight. The water in a large cumulus cloud can weigh hundreds of tons, supported only by the air beneath and the invisible currents above. It's a beautiful paradox, delicate masses of vapor holding such strength, a reminder that power and gentleness often coexist quietly in nature. Your body breathes in air touched by clouds. Your skin feels the soft shadow they cast, a brief respite from the sun's warmth. Your mind can float with them, riding the rhythm of their slow, endless journey. As you settle deeper into rest, let a whisper travel gently through your thoughts. What stories do the clouds tell as they drift silently across your sky? What dreams might you carry, like a droplet, from sky to earth? Breathe slowly, feeling the quiet symphony of clouds fold softly around you, cradling your sleep. Softly now, you witness the sky's gift as rain begins its timeless journey from cloud to earth. Each drop carries ancient tales of water's endless cycle, weaving life through the soil, the trees, and your very breath. Feel the peaceful rhythm of falling rain, a steady song of renewal and balance, inviting you to relax deeply and drift gently into rest. As you settle deeper into your bed, close your eyes once again and listen not with your ears alone, but with your mind to the quiet story of rain. The atmosphere whispers it softly, a gentle music made of tiny droplets and invisible journeys crossing the skies. Rain is a quiet miracle, a tender exchange between the heavens and earth that shapes all life beneath your window. Imagine a single drop of water, no larger than the tip of your finger. This drop began not in your hand, but high above in a cloud, born from countless tiny water droplets that gathered like a delicate congregation. Each droplet once lingered as vapor water in its invisible airy form, floating softly, buoyed by warm currents of air. As the air cools and condenses around particles like dust or salt, these vapor droplets join hands to form the visible cloud, softly glowing against the blue or gray sky. Now, within that gathering of tiny droplets, a change begins. Droplets collide, gently at first, then with more weight, merging into larger drops. This delicate joining is called coalescence, a dance of droplets growing stronger as they share their moisture. Eventually, a drop grows heavy enough that gravity's tender pull begins, and the dance turns into a descent as droplets fall slowly, gracefully, toward the waiting earth. Picture that drop's journey down its shape, slight and curved, flattened softly by the air it moves through. Though cartoons often paint raindrops like perfect teardrops, real raindrops are more like tiny floating domes or hamburger buns, shaped by the gentle resistance of air. And sometimes, if a drop grows unusually large, it can split mid-fall, sending smaller droplets spinning in the breeze, spreading rain even wider. Rain differs from other forms of precipitations. Snow, sleet, hail in its fluid, liquid state, but all hail from the same ancient cycle. Water endlessly traveling through air and ground, changing form depending on the temperature and journey. Sometimes a raindrop may begin as snow high in cold clouds, gently freezing at the start, only to melt as it passes through warmer layers before touching the surface. Other times, when the chill lingers, those droplets might freeze again, creating a crunchy gift of sleet or a delicate sheen of ice. The steady fall of rain is more than just water returning from sky to soil. It's life itself reaching down to the roots of trees, the petals of flowers, and the thirsty earth that cradles every breath you take. Rain replenishes rivers, fills lakes, and revives the soft green of grasses. It soothes the sun-warmed earth, turning dust into mud and sparking quiet, earthy scents carried softly on the breeze. Listen closely in your mind now to the rhythm of falling rain, the gentle tap, patter, and whisper like a lullaby sung by the sky. Each drop sings the science of renewal and transformation, a signal of nature's endless breathing. Water evaporates, rises, cools, condenses, and falls, a continuous cycle known as the hydrologic cycle. This cycle connects oceans, clouds, rivers, and soil in a gentle loop, sustaining every living thing, from the tallest tree to the smallest seed beneath your bed. As raindrops slip through the air, they don't always fall straight down. Winds and air currents weave graceful, swirling paths that carry rain far and wide, across hills, through cities, and into forests. Sometimes they gather into soft sheets that cloak the landscape. Other times they form fine mists or teasing sprinkles that kiss your skin gently. Each variation is a different note in the atmosphere's peaceful symphony. Rain also teaches about pressure and temperature. When warm, moist air rises, it cools and releases moisture to form clouds and rain. This rising air often creates low-pressure regions on the ground, drawing surrounding air inward, forming the subtle breezes you feel. Sometimes, the atmosphere shifts quickly, inducing sudden downpours or gentle showers that remind us the skies. Moods can be both calm and playful. You might reflect on how rain connects us personally. Perhaps you recall standing beneath a soft shower, feeling droplets kiss your face, or the sly coolness of a gentle dribble down your cheek, or the steady sound of rain tapping your window as the world outside fades away into quiet contemplation. Rain invites you to slow down, to listen, to be present in the moment where science and serene beauty entwine. And just as every lullaby hints at a new day, every raindrop promises growth. Seeds buried deep wait patiently for the gentle moisture to awaken them, pushing forth roots and shoots that will grow strong and green. Tiny creatures of the soil respond, stirred by the gift of water, thriving in the freshness that follows. Each shower, even the air, feels sweeter and clearer after rain, washed clean of dust and warmed by the earth's soft breath. Before you drift fully into dreams, ponder a gentle question. If each raindrop carries stories from distant oceans and ancient clouds, what secrets might your breath and body be sharing with the atmosphere as you rest tonight? The water cycle is a silent conversation you are always part of, a quiet exchange spun out in vapor and droplets, a delicate balance between earth and sky. Now, as your eyelids grow heavy and your breathing deepens, imagine being a single raindrop, floating softly down from the sky, touching the world with a cool, nurturing hand. Feel the peaceful rhythm of rain around you, a timeless, tender gift from the clouds gently lulling your body and mind into calm, slow slumber. Let the rain's soft song carry you gently now, wrapped in the quiet embrace of nature's gentle water dance, flowing through your dreams as it flows through the skies. Tonight, you watch as sunlight and atmosphere engage in a subtle, graceful dance, painting the world with rainbows, halos, and glimmers of color. These quiet miracles invite you to wonder gently at the science and art mingled in the sky's light. Let the soft glow and shimmering hues guide your thoughts toward peaceful dreams, where light itself becomes a lullaby. Make yourself comfortable once more, drawing your blankets close like a gentle embrace. Take a slow breath in, feeling the coolness of the air entering your lungs. Exhale softly, releasing the day's lingering thoughts. Now, picture the vast sky above a canvas that the sun's light paints upon in ways both bold and subtle. Tonight, you will float within the quiet magic of light dancing through the atmosphere. Light is the ultimate storyteller, traveling vast distances to reach you, carrying secrets of stars and sky. It enters your eyes as a gentle gift, yet behind this simple glow lies a rich symphony of physics and wonder. When sunlight meets water, raindrop or ice crystal, its path bends, splits, and scatters, turning invisible beams into rainbows and hitless, dazzling spectacles born from nature's quiet chemistry. Let's begin with the most famous of lights, atmospheric marvels, the rainbow. Imagine rain falling softly as the sun peeks from behind a cloud. Each tiny droplet acts like a tiny prism, bending the sunlight as it enters, reflecting it once inside, and then bending it again as it leaves. This delicate light journey separates white sunlight into its colorful parts, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, folding into a shimmering arc across the sky. Each color bends slightly differently, with red bending the least and violet the most, which is why rainbows spread into their characteristic spectrum. The rainbow always forms a circle, though usually only a half arc is visible from the ground, as the horizon blocks the rest. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you might glimpse a full circle from a mountaintop or airplane window, an ethereal hoop of color floating in the air, a delicate dance of light and water. You stand under this rainbow and realize it's not a fixed place but a personal experience of light and perspective. The rainbow moves as you move. Each observer sees their own unique rainbow, a personal gift from the sky. Sometimes, a second fainter rainbow appears outside the first, its colors reversed. This double rainbow reveals a little deeper magic, as light reflects twice inside the raindrops, softening and reversing the color order. Between the two arcs, a darker band, Alexander's band, rests quietly, a subtle shadow in this light show. This band is the hidden path of the light rays that do not reflect within the droplets, creating a gentle contrast that deepens the rainbow's beauty. Consider this: each rainbow is a fleeting, delicate symphony of physics playing out above you. Now, let's shift our gaze to halos, glowing rings that encircle the sun or moon. Unlike rainbows, halos are born from ice crystals in high altitude. Clouds pictured tiny, flat, hexagonal ice crystals spinning slowly and floating in the cold stratosphere, like countless tiny mirrors reflecting sunlight. When the sun's rays pass through these crystals, they bend at an angle of about 22 degrees, creating a radiant ring around the bright orb. Halos often appear in the crisp, cold days, subtle and mysterious, as if the sky wears a crown. Near the sun, colorful spots called sundogs sometimes shine like twin suns, glowing in reds and blues. These sundogs are reflections from the ice crystals, casting colorful light at the sides of the halo. Together, halos and sundogs remind you that light can take many forms when it meets the gentle artistry of frozen water. Sunlight can also form pillar-style columns of light extending upwards or downwards, created as it reflects off flat ice crystals hanging in the air. They appear like magical beams piercing the sky, sometimes greeting you at dawn or dusk, turning ordinary street lamps into silent sentinels glowing with vertical light. Another quiet marvel is the glorious circle of soft-colored rings that can appear surrounding the shadow of your head when it falls on mist, cloud, or fog. Seen most often from airplanes looking down onto clouds, glories are created by sunlight scattering backwards through tiny droplets, weaving delicate halos of color that feel almost like the atmosphere's quiet applause for your presence. These optical marvels are not just pretty illusions, but gentle lessons in light's nature. They teach you about refraction, the bending of light and reflection, about how tiny shapes and droplets transform the sky's brightness into color and form. Light is patient, stretching its arms through water and ice, revealing the unseen. Geometry and texture of the air, colors in the sky also change as the sun moves. At sunrise and sunset, light travels through more atmosphere, scattering short wavelengths and letting warm reds, oranges, and pinks paint the clouds. These colors remind you of the slow rhythm of time, a gentle transition from night to day, dusk to darkness. Each a soft lullaby sung in hues. Sometimes the sky offers rare flashes of green, the fleeting green flash, just after sunset or before sunrise. This tiny green sliver is another gift of light bending in the atmosphere, a brief glimpse at a spectrum usually hidden from view, a secret that reminds you to watch patiently and trust in nature's subtle surprises. Light can be a quiet companion, too. Have you noticed the way clouds glow silver on a partly cloudy day? How mist catches the first golden rays in the morning? How moonlight silver washes fields in a peace unlike any other? These gentle encounters with light deepen your connection with the slow, natural pulse of the Earth's cycles. As you lie quietly, imagine the light around you softening, bending into gentle arcs and rings, coaxing stars to twinkle just beyond your sight. Let your mind fold into the peaceful presence of colors and reflections, where the science of light becomes a tender story told in glimmers and shades. Before you drift fully away, ponder this delicate question. If light can weave rainbows and halos from simple water and air, how might your own thoughts and dreams reflect and refract in the quiet space of night? What colors will your imagination paint in the soft darkness? Breathe slowly, feeling the glow of these gentle lights wash over your mind. The sky's art is woven with science, beauty, and a deep peacefulness. In these soft moments, you and light share a secret dance, one that will carry you gently into sleep. Rest now, cradled in the quiet magic of the sky, under the watchful glow of light's soft wonders. Tonight, you join the earth in its timeless waltz around the sun, feeling the subtle shifts of light and shadow that shape the changing seasons. This slow dance marks time gently yet unmistakably, unfolding nature's cycles of rest and renewal. Let the shifting warmth and chill, the lengthening days and quiet nights, whisper softly through your dreams as you drift toward sleep. Rest your body comfortably beneath your blankets. Close your eyes and take a long, slow breath in, feeling calm begin to settle in your chest. Exhale gently, letting the day's busyness drift away. Now, imagine standing on a vast stage, set in space, a stage spun by the earth itself, moving in a graceful, endless orbit around the glowing sun. You are part of this moving world, wrapped in the gentle rhythm of the seasons. The Earth's journey around the sun is a slow, steady path, taking one full year to complete a circle in space. But the journey itself isn't quite like a smooth ring dance. The Earth is tilted not upright, but leaning softly on its axis by about 23.5 degrees. This tilt might seem small, but it changes everything. It's the silent choreographer behind the seasons, the long unfolding story of warmth and cold, growth and rest. Picture the Earth as a spinning top, pirouetting as it moves forward. As it orbits the sun, different parts of the planet tilt toward or away from the sun's light. When your part of Earth leans toward the sun, you feel longer days, more sunlight each afternoon, and the warmth that calls plants to bloom and leaves to unfurl. This is your summer, a time of fullness and life. When your part tilts away, the sunlight becomes softer, the days grow shorter, and a cool hush settles over the landscape. Your winter, a time for rest, quiet, and waiting. Between these moments, spring and autumn gently take the stage, balancing warmth and cool, light and shadow, growth and fading. Think about the length of the day. In summer, the sun rises early and lingers long, painting the sky with glowing mornings and golden evenings. As the year unfolds, the days begin to shrink, slipping slowly back toward the night. In winter, the sun is a shy visitor, rising late and quickly dipping below the horizon, leaving more hours wrapped in darkness. This changing balance of light and dark affects more than just the weather. It is a signal to your body and mind, a gentle nudge to adjust to the world's slow turning. Plants read these cues to know when to bud, flower, or drop their leaves. Animals sense them too, migrating, hibernating, or changing their coats to dance with the seasons. Isn't it wondrous that you, with your heartbeat and breath, are linked to this vast cosmic rhythm? The seasons touch your body as surely as they turn the leaves. Perhaps you've felt the deep warmth of summer sun on your arms, or the crisp bite of winter's cool air brushing your cheeks. Now picture the changing colors of the trees in autumn. Those fiery reds, golden yellows, and deep oranges are nature's quiet farewell to the warmth of summer. As daylight fades, the trees pull back nutrients from their leaves, allowing brilliant pigments to shine before the leaves gently let go, tumbling softly to the ground like whispered goodbyes. Underneath, the earth prepares for winter's stillness. Seeds nestle safely in the soil, waiting for the warm touch of spring. Snow might settle, cloaking the world in white, holding the earth warm beneath its soft blanket. In spring, warmth returns. The sun's increasing strength melts frost and snow. Water trickles through soil, waking tiny roots and busy worms. Trees bud and flower, gardens begin to bloom, and the air fills softly with new life. Each gentle burst of color and life is a quiet celebration of the Earth's ancient, unending cycle. This seasonal dance is shaped by more than Earth's tilt alone. The planet's orbit is not a perfect circle, but an ellipse, slightly stretched out in one direction. This means the Earth's distance from the Sun changes throughout the year, though this variation is gentle compared to the tilt's effect. The slow wobble, called precession, shifts this tilt over thousands of years, subtly changing the timing and intensity of seasons in a cycle beyond any human lifetime. Seasons connect to many parts of your daily experience. They shape the rhythm of food growing in fields, the festivals we celebrate, and the clothes we wear. They mark the passing of time in a way that feels natural and steady, unlike the ticking of clocks. Have you noticed that in some places seasons feel distinct, with crisp changes and clear markers like snowfalls and blooming flowers? Meanwhile, in other places, seasons seem to blend softly together, the warm rains and cooler dry spells of the tropics, whispering their own story of change. Wherever you live, your body and mind respond to these shifts. Your sleep patterns may change as daylight waxes and wanes. Your mood may brighten with spring's growing light, or slow down with winter's quiet shadow. You are part of this great cycle, moving gently with the Earth's timeless waltz. Now, as your body relaxes and your mind drifts, imagine yourself as a traveler riding softly on this turning planet. Feel the steady spin beneath you, the slow orbit around the warm sun. See how the light bends and shifts over the landscape, changing the world's colors and moods. You are cradled by nature's great rhythm, safe and steady. Before sleep takes you fully, let a soft question float through your mind. How does the slow dance of seasons shape the stories of your dreams? What wonders might the turning light reveal as you rest beneath the stars? Breathe deeply one last time, feeling the peaceful flow of time wrapping softly around you. The earth turns, the sun shines, and through it all, you rest gently within the slow, beautiful passage of the seasons. Tonight you step softly into a world wrapped in fog, a delicate veil that blurs the edges of reality and invites your senses to slow down. This misty cloak is nature's quiet secret, made of countless tiny droplets suspended in the air, weaving stories of moisture, temperature, and stillness. Let the soft hush of fog calm your mind as it gently enfolds the landscape and your dreams. Lie back once more and breathe deeply, pulling the cool, gentle air into your lungs. As you settle, imagine the world outside your window growing soft and muted, as if the sky itself has lowered a silken curtain. This is fog, a cloud on the ground, a whispering veil draping the earth in quiet mystery. Fog is one of nature's most delicate transformations. It begins invisibly, as water vapor or gas, too small and light for your eyes to see, gathers in the air around you. When the air cools just enough, this vapor condenses gently into millions of tiny water droplets, each one smaller than a speck of dust, suspended so quietly they float. Fog transforms the familiar into something dreamlike, where sounds soften and colors blur. Think of fog like a great soft blanket made by the sky, wrapping hills, trees, and buildings with a quiet embrace. It can appear suddenly in the chill of early morning or creep in slowly across a valley like a patient storyteller. Fog blurs the edges of things. The line where earth ends and sky begins and invites you to lean in closer, to wonder at the gentle unknown. There are many different kinds of fog, each with its own secret recipe and personality. The most common radiation fog forms on clear, calm nights, when the ground cools rapidly by releasing heat into the night sky. As the land chills, so does the air closest to the surface. If the air holds enough moisture, vapor condenses into tiny droplets, and fog gathers like a soft breath over the earth. This fog is often thickest in valleys, where cool air pools like quiet water, and it usually fades away with the sunrise's warming touch. Then there's advection fog, a drifting visitor that forms when moist air glides over cooler land or water surfaces. Picture warm, humid sea air traveling over a chilly coastline, instantly cooling as it crosses the boundary. The moisture it holds condenses into a mist, painting the shore in ghostly folds. Advection fog can linger longer than its radiation cousin, sometimes persisting through the day and casting a gentle cooling shade. Slope fog is another lovely variation, forming as moist air is gently pushed upward along hills or mountain slopes. As this air climbs, it cools following the same laws that govern clouds high in the sky, and when it reaches the dew point, fog settles like a quiet visitor dressed in fine misty robes. And then, in the very coldest places, there's freezing fog. Here, the tiny suspended droplets remain liquid even below freezing temperatures, supercooled and awaiting a surface to freeze upon. When they touch a cold window, a tree branch, or the roof of a house, they freeze instantly, coating surfaces in delicate crystals known as rime ice. It transforms ordinary landscapes into glittering sculptures of frost, fragile and shimmering. Fog is much more than a pretty sight or an atmospheric curiosity. It has a subtle but profound effect on the world around you and on your own senses. It scatters light softly, reducing visibility and turning sharp lines into gentle gradients. Sounds travel differently through fog, too, sometimes muffled, sometimes strangely distorted like whispers hiding just beyond reach. In this quiet distortion, the world seems to slow and soften, inviting calm and reflection. Imagine standing outside in a thick fog. The dampness clings lightly to your skin. You might taste it in the air, a cool, fresh flavor that fills your mouth without a word. You notice that shadows and outlines fade, and familiar landmarks become mysterious shapes, sliding in and out of the haze. It's as if the fog is offering you a private glimpse into a quieter, slower world. Behind this calm beauty is a story told by science of temperature, humidity, and air movement, delicately balanced. Water vapor saturates the air, waiting patiently for the temperature to slip low enough to free it from invisibility. The tiny droplets that form are a billion gentle messengers, holding the promise of rain or the quiet hush of mist. The atmosphere above you is alive with energy moving silently, and fog is one of its softest expressions. Fog also plays a quiet role in the natural world. It waters plants in deserts where rain rarely falls, wraps moisture around fungi and mosses, and offers animals a shield of concealment and coolness. It slows evaporation from soils and leaves, gently conserving precious water. It is a hidden lifeline in many ecosystems, softening the harshness of sun and wind. You might think of fog as an old friend who visits softly and leaves quietly, rarely declaring its presence but always bringing a pause to the world's rush. This is a moment to savor, a gentle invitation to breathe deeply and move slowly as nature whispers its secrets. Now, imagine your own thoughts drifting as freely as those tiny droplets suspended in the air. What mysteries might your mind explore if it moved as softly and quietly as fog? How might the gentle dissolving of boundaries you see in the mist reflect the unfolding of your own dreams, blending memories, hopes, and stories into a seamless nightscape? as your breath slows and your body sinks deeper into rest. Picture the fog retreating slowly with the morning sun. As the warmth returns, the droplets evaporate back into vapor, invisible once more, like a secret whispered and safely kept until next time. Before sleep carries you fully away, let a gentle question linger in your mind. In this quiet veil of mist and mystery, where does your imagination wander? What lightness and softness might you carry into your dreams? Breathe in once more. Feel the calm wash over you like a silken fog. The night is a gentle ocean of stillness, and you are cradled within a traveler wrapped in the whispering veil of fog. Tonight, you listen closely to the sky's conversation, thunderstorms speaking in flashes and rumbles, raindrops tapping their ancient rhythm. Feel the power mingled with peace, as warm air rises and cool air falls in a timeless dance. Let the storm's gentle roar lull your mind toward wonder.com and restful dreams. Rest your head softly and take a deep, peaceful breath. As you breathe out slowly, imagine the vast sky above, charged with quiet energy. Tonight, you become a gentle traveler inside a thunderstorm, a spectacle of nature's power and elegance that's as old as the earth itself. Thunderstorms might seem loud and wild, but underneath their claps and flashes lies a simple, graceful story, written in air, moisture, and heat. It all begins with a warm, sun-kissed patch of ground. Imagine the sun's warmth seeping deep into the earth, nudging air above the surface to heat and rise like a warm bubble, floating upward. As this warm air ascends, it carries with it tiny, invisible guests, water vapor, the gaseous form of water. The higher it rises, the cooler the air becomes, and this cooling invites the vapor to transform. Like magic, the water vapor gathers around tiny dust specks, turning invisible mist into the soft, visible droplets we call clouds. Within the growing clouds, the air continues to swirl in a delicate but energetic dance. Warm air pushes upward, cool air falls downward, creating currents that churn gently yet powerfully. The droplets inside the clouds bump, merge, and grow heavier with moisture. Some freeze into delicate ice crystals, shimmering like tiny stars caught in motion. When these drops and crystals become too heavy to float, gravity draws them downward as rain, hail, or snow, depending on the temperature. The falling precipitation causes the air below to cool, pushing air outward in gusts that rush along the ground. These descending currents mix with the rising ones above, weaving the complex pattern that shapes every thunderstorm. Now, turn your mind to the cracks of lightning, the brilliant silvers and golds that slice through dark skies. Lightning is nature's dazzling electrical dance, a spectacular display of energy release. Inside towering clouds, tiny particles of ice and water rub and jostle against each other, creating an invisible charge separation. Positive charges gather near the cloud's top, negative ones near the bottom. When the electric tension becomes too great, lightning leaps across the gap, jumping between parts of the cloud, between clouds, or between cloud and earth. This sudden surge heats the air to temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. The rapid expansion of air creates the thunder we hear, rolling softly or booming loudly. Sounds echo to the light's flash. Even though lightning can startle and thunder can rumble, storms are not just fierce. They are the atmosphere's method of balancing heat and moisture, recycling energy gently yet profoundly. Each flash and drop is part of the sky's silent conversation with the earth below. Imagine yourself drifting gently within the storm. You float along warm updrafts, weaving through cool downdrafts, touched softly by raindrops and brushed by silent bursts of electricity. The smells of fresh rain and damp earth drift in your mind like a lullaby sung by the weather itself. Sometimes the cloud's power gathers strength to create hail, layers of ice, spun like nature's frozen marbles, tossed high inside the storm, and carried in upward drafts repeatedly until heavy enough to fall with a distinct tap. Though hailstones can seem fierce, their journey is a quiet, circular dance of cold and warm, air and water. Thunderstorms also take shape, towering cumulonimbus clouds, their tops spreading wide like an anvil, reaching high into the troposphere. These giants play host to many weather dramas: showers, wind, lightning, and sometimes the first whispers of tornadoes. But most thunderstorms are gentle visitors, passing slowly or quickly, leaving behind refreshed air and nourished land. They carry the gift of rain to thirsty soils and forests, fill rivers and lakes, and cool the heated earth. Their rhythms are part of the great cycle that has kept life thriving for eons. Let your thoughts rest on the quiet, balanced storms bring. Though they seem wild at times, their essence is harmony, a complex but peaceful blend of forces working together. The rising, falling, condensing, and falling again is a slow song. The atmosphere hums gently all around you. As you nestle deeper into calm, picture the distant thunder echoing softly like a deep drum guiding your breath. The flashes of lightning paint shadows in your mind, not frightening but bright and alive, reminders that energy is everywhere, always moving, always changing. Before you drift entirely into sleep, let one last thought wander through your heart. What stories have the storms carried from distant seas, across fields and forests, whispered in every raindrop that falls on your window? How does the thunderstroke mirror the steady rhythm of your own breath, steady and deep? Breathe slowly now, wrapped in the gentle roar of the storm, a lullaby of earth, air, water, and light, carrying you softly into night's quiet embrace. Tonight, you travel softly across our beautiful, ever-changing planet, where every place has its own weather story. From the humid breath of rainforests to the crisp silence of icy poles, each sky dances uniquely with wind, water, and sunlight. Let the atmosphere's many voices mingle in your dreams, weaving a tapestry of calm wonder and peaceful rest. Lay back gently and close your eyes, breathing slowly as you prepare to journey across the world without moving a muscle. Imagine yourself floating above continents and oceans, wrapped in the vast, flowing atmosphere that connects every place. The weather, you know, is just one thread in a rich global quilt woven by air, moisture, and sunlight. Let's begin our adventure. Near the equator, where the sun's warmth shines strongest, here lie the tropical rainforest's lush, vibrant kingdoms of green that hum softly with life. The air is heavy with moisture, thick and warm like a soft blanket. Daily, the sun teases water from rivers and soil into vapor that drifts gently upward. By afternoon, the heavens gather towering clouds, setting the stage for afternoon thunderstorms that refresh the land with life-giving rain. This tropical rhythm is steady and dependable, the world's natural heartbeat. The constant cycle of moisture rising, cooling, and falling keeps the forest alive and thriving. Imagine the thick, humid air carrying the scent of earth, flowers, and rain, as countless creatures awaken to the soft patter of droplets on leaves. This is a timeless dance of moisture and energy, alive in every breath you take. Just a little farther from the equator, you reach the monsoon regions, where seasonal winds tell a dramatic story. The word monsoon means season, and here, the sky alters its tune twice every year. When the land grows hot, it creates a great vacuum that pulls moist ocean air inland. This rush of air climbs over distant mountains, dropping vast rains that turn dry earth into a cascade of green. Monsoons bring both blessing and challenge, water for crops and people, but also floods and landslides that remind us of nature's power. Imagine standing in a rice field, where shallow waters reflect glowing skies, and the soft wind carries the scent of wet earth. You feel the steady pulse of the seasons shift, the air thick with expectation and renewal. Then, months later, the dry season slips in as those winds reverse, drawing soft dust and cooler air from the land back to the sea, lulling the world toward rest. Crossing the oceans, your thoughts drift to island nations surrounded by the vast Pacific. Here, the trade winds blow steadily, carrying the cool breath of the ocean and tempering tropical heat. These winds are nature's invisible highways, gently pushing waves, stirring clouds, and guiding migrating birds and sailing boats alike. In these places, weather is a conversation between ocean and sky. Cyclones, powerful spinning storms, sometimes gather energy over warm waters, growing into giants that can sweep across island chains with rain and wind. Yet even in their might, these storms follow the delicate physics of air and water, spiraling in chorus with Earth's spin and the sun's warming touch. Shift your gaze now to great deserts, places where the sky sometimes seems endlessly blue and the air crisply dry. The heat of day can feel like a warm whisper against your skin, while nights cool swiftly, wrapping the land in chill. Deserts tell another atmospheric tale, one of extremes and contrasts. Picture dust storms, massive walls of sand and grit, sweeping across the land, sculpted by fierce gusts. These storms blot out the sun, their swirling particles catching the light in a dusty haze. Though fierce, these winds are gentle artists, carving out dunes and shaping landscapes across centuries. You might imagine walking through a quiet desert street cooled by a rare evening breeze, the sky above painted by a fading sunset. Here, the air seems thin and light, holding secrets from distant mountains and oceans in its silent flow. Far to the north and south, the polar regions welcome you with frozen stillness and shimmering wonders. In these lands of ice and snow, the atmosphere moves slow and deep, where frigid winds sweep like quiet ghosts over glaciers and snowfields. The air carries sharp crispness, and even in the darkest winter, an unseen dance of light aurora swirls softly. Overhead in ribbons of green and violet dot, feel the silence of the polar atmosphere, where clouds are rare but the sky's clarity is vast. Winds here sometimes rush down slopes as katabatic winds, icy fingers pushing cold air over frozen valleys. The snow crunches lightly beneath, and the world seems wrapped in an endless hush, as if time itself pauses. Between these extremes lie the temperate zones, where seasons gracefully shift and weather dances with more variety. Spring rains wash the land awake, summers bring sun-soaked warmth, autumn leaves turn fiery gold, and winters bring quiet blankets of snow. Here, gentle breezes mingle with powerful gales, clouds drift from ocean to mountain, and each day feels different yet familiar. Imagine walking through a forest in fall, the smell of wet earth and pine filling the air. Leaves flutter down in soft showers, and the breeze plays a tender tune through branches. As the sun slips lower toward the horizon, shadows grow long, and the sky softens in pastel hues. This choreography of light, air, and water is the pulse of temperate weather, a world alive with quiet change. Even within these broad zones, the land shapes the atmosphere's moods. Mountains lift moist air, creating rain on one side and deserts on the other. Coastal regions enjoy milder temperatures, thanks to the ocean's gentle influence, while inland valleys may burn hot in summer and freeze fast in winter. Finally, picture cities, vibrant islands of human life surrounded by concrete, glass, and bustling energy. Urban areas create their own mini-weather, called urban heat islands, where buildings trap warmth and slow cooling. This makes nights warmer and alters local winds. Even here, in the heart of human creation, the atmosphere responds: soft breezes, shifting clouds, and the occasional storm offering respite. As you drift gently above the globe, notice the soft tapestry of weather patterns weaving together. Jet streams high in the sky steering storms, trade winds nurturing life, deserts breathing hot and dry, forests thriving in moisture's embrace. Each place unique, yet connected through the sky's invisible energies. The atmosphere is a vast ocean of air, flowing always, whispering stories, carrying moisture and warmth around the planet. From the moist tropics to the frozen poles, from quiet fog to roaring storms, the world's weather is one gentle, ever-moving conversation. Now, as your eyelids grow heavy and your breath slows, listen for the quiet call of the sky. Winds, drifting clouds, the faint scent of rain, or the crispness of snow. These are nature's lullabies, sung by the atmosphere. Just for you, before you slip fully into sleep, let a soft question float through your mind. What stories does the sky carry to you tonight? What secrets do the winds whisper as you rest? Beneath the vast, dancing heavens, breathe deeply and feel your connection to this beautiful, swirling world. The atmosphere holds you softly, welcoming you as part of its endless, peaceful, global dance. Tonight, you settle softly into the quiet embrace of Earth's atmosphere, feeling the gentle pulse of life and science flowing through you. In this final chapter, the invisible air becomes a loving cradle, connecting you to the planet's rhythms, and to every living thing. Let this closing lullaby weave calm, wonder, and gratitude deep into your dreams, carrying you gently into a restful night. Word count 1400. Nestle into your quiet space and draw a slow, deep breath. Feel the cool, soft air filling your lungs, the unseen ocean cradling you tenderly from outside to inside. With each breath, your body and mind become more still, floating gently in the vast, invisible ocean of gases that wrap the earth. This atmosphere is not just a backdrop for the story of weather, it's the soft hymn of life itself. Imagine the air around you as a living weave of countless molecules, dancing and swirling quietly with purpose. Nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and water vapor, each plays its part in keeping you alive. in balancing light and warmth, in carrying whispers of every breath, every rustling leaf, every slow-moving cloud overhead. This atmosphere breathes, with Earth, like a slow, endless inhalation and exhalation. The warmth of the sun wakes the ground, which warms the air above, like a soft hearth fire. Air rises in gentle currents, cools, releases moisture in clouds and rain, and then falls again, cycling endlessly in a dance, as old as time. You might imagine your body as part of this rhythm, your lungs drawing in oxygen carried across continents, your skin feeling the chill of a breeze that began its journey thousands of miles away. The air you breathe is 1,000 invisible journeys made, visible only through their touch on your skin and the whispers in your ears. Every moment you partake in a silent, powerful connection. You live within the atmosphere's pulse, wrapped in its thin, fragile skin, a gift so thin that from space it looks like a mere shimmer on the planet's curve, yet so vital that without it, life as we know it could not exist. Consider the immense possibilities held in this breath of air. It carries seeds, pollen, and microscopic life forms that start new forests and fields. It carries scents that journey across seas and mountains, memories scented with rain, earth, and flowers. It carries sound, the laughter of children, the gentle rustle of leaves, the peaceful song of a quiet night. And even now, as you drift closer to sleep, the air gently carries away the stress and busyness you carried into this moment. It makes space for calm. It wraps you in a velvet hush, a soft lullaby of molecules moving just slowly enough to soothe, yet with energy enough to sustain the world's endless cycles. Remember, the atmosphere is both caress and cradle, invisible yet inviolable. It filters harmful rays, balances heat, nurtures clouds, and carries the promise of rain. It hugs the earth in a thin, vital breath that is the world's most delicate shield. Tonight, as your eyes grow heavy, think of the stories the air holds: the farmers watching clouds for rain, the mountains sending chilly winds, the oceans breathing out mist at dawn. Across deserts and rainforests, cities and seas, the atmosphere links us all in a quiet, profound conversation. Every droplet of rain that falls, every gust of wind that brushes your cheek, every quiet breath you take is part of this connection. You are a traveler within this living ocean, wrapped in the soft pulse of a planet alive and ever moving. And so, before you let sleep carry you fully, let a gentle question drift into your dreams. How will the air around you shape your journey? Tonight, what quiet wonders and gentle mysteries will you discover as your mind floats softly on the invisible breath of Earth? Take one last deep, slow breath, feeling the coolness filling your lungs. Exhale with a sigh so soft it might be a whisper between the leaves. Let your body and mind surrender to this peaceful dance as the atmosphere wraps you comfortably. The infinite ocean of air holding you gently like a cradle, rocking you toward sleep. Rest now, cradled by the breath of Earth, part of the invisible dance that connects all life under the vast, starry sky. Thank you for sharing this journey through the science and poetry of the atmosphere with me. If you'd like, I'm here to help craft any additional stories or explore new wonders together. Sweet dreams and peaceful sleeps.